This place is cursed. Cursed.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Just make sure you follow me on Letterboxd as well. Just look for Old Man Brad so you can see all the watches I do. And follow me over on Blue Sky, Old Man Brad, as every week I'll drop some new Tubi movies and a lot of other things. All right, so this week, like I said in the previous episode where we talked Pig Hill with Kevin Lewis, it is a Cineverse week. So I have another Cineverse release for you, and that is the new bold reimagining of Silent Night, Deadly Night from Mike P. Nelson starring Rowan Campbell. I'm actually excited to talk to you about this one. I'm going to there might be some comparisons to the original, which is totally fine. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen when you come out with a reimagining of like this. But before we dive into the 2025 Silent Night, Deadly Night, if you're in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. So thankful to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to host a horror screening. And our screening for December is the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. So after watching this new one this week, come out next week and let's watch the original. December 19th, 10 p.m., let's watch a movie together. It's time to punish the naughty and talk Silent Night, Deadly Night.
'Twas the night before Christmas, the house locked up tight. Yet a shadow approached in the dead of the night. With a glimmering axe, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick.
Kind of been drifting my whole life. I'm ready for something real.
Looking for something? Are you okay? I'm gonna figure out what's going on in there.
You, had no idea. What? Naughty.
A child witnesses his parents' murder by a man in a Santa suit. Years later, as an adult, he does a Santa costume himself and embarks on a violent quest for retribution against those responsible for the traumatic event from his childhood. Written and directed by Mike P. Nelson, stars Rowan Campbell, Rudy Modine, David Lawrence Brown, and many others. This comes out in theaters the day this episode drops, December 12th. And I'm going to say definitely go check it out. I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm going to tell you that I will probably dive into spoilers in this because I don't think there's some things I want to talk about that I don't think I can skirt around without kind of getting into a little bit of the spoiler realm. I won't give away the ending or how that goes, but there might be a few things that I talk about because there's some bold decisions and choices for this reimagining that, I don't know, I can't talk about without mentioning them. So Silent Night, Deadly Night is written and directed by Mike P. Nelson, who also did a reimagining of the Wrong Turn series a few years ago, which was an interesting movie. That one, just like this one, took some bold swings that I really enjoyed. I liked how they kind of changed it up a little bit in the Wrong Turn. It wasn't just, backwoods people doing this. They changed it up. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, why did we call this a Wrong Turn if you're just going to do this? Why don't you name it something else? But it worked. He also directed a segment in VHS, and he's done a few other horror movies. And this stars Rowan Campbell, who everybody knows plays Corey in Halloween Ends, a very, very divisive movie in the Halloween franchise. Very divisive among fans of the series. People who know me know Halloween Ends was my favorite of those three films. I loved the Corey angle. Like everyone else, I kind of wish it was played into the trilogy earlier to set up this end. But again, I love the bold choice that they made with ends and the way it went, because to me, that whole trilogy is about the town more than Michael himself. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Halloween. We're here to talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night. So this is based off of the original film from Charles E. Sellier that came out in 1984, which I'm screening next week, with a young Billy who sees his parents murdered by a man in a Santa suit. Now, the original one, Billy goes into a convent. He's raised by nuns. That movie, you kind of go through this torment that he is having until he finally snaps at the end. It builds up until he breaks at the end. This one sets up the same way. Billy goes to visit his grandpa in a home. Something happens to Grandpa. On the way home, a man in a Santa suit kill his family. We see him years later, but now there's no nuns, no orphanage, anything else in this. He's older. He's kind of like a drifter. But in this one, he's already established as our Santa killer. And one of the things I like, he's established as this killer. And all through the month of December, he has to kill somebody every day and mark it in this advent calendar book of kills, basically. He has to put blood in each day. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting choice. I enjoyed that spin to it. I like that, all through December, he has to punish the naughty. He has to kill the bad people, basically. The other part of this that is a huge change from this original film. It goes more on a paranormal side of things. Billy starts to hear, we hear Billy and a voice inside Billy's head. Billy is talking to the voice in his head. The voice talks to Billy. And the voice who talks to Billy, you'll recognize the voice. Like, immediately I recognize the voice. It is Mark Eggeson, one that I always, when I see his face, that I know him from. He's the mailroom guy from Elf that is with Buddy the Elf as they're drinking and laying on the tables talking. But he has this kind of a deep, growly voice. And that's the voice that is inside Billy's head. As he's being told what he needs to do, who he needs to kill. He needs to kill somebody every day. It has to be like the bad people. And he's kind of a drifter. So he kills, he leaves, he never stays in one place very long. But he ends up in this town and meets a girl played by Ruby Modine, who is the roommate in Happy Death Day. But then he kind of falls for her as he's trying to keep this secret. He doesn't want to tell her, obviously, for obvious reasons. But then they add this kind of a love interest side to it, all while he's killing. And one of the scenes, you've seen it online, they've put it online, where he gets into this party, this Santa party, and it ends up being a room full of Nazis. That old Billy's got to punish those naughty Nazis. And it's not only hilarious, but I loved it. Everything in this movie, as I said, they were bold choices from the original. They're changing it up, adding this supernatural element of why he's doing what he's doing. I'm not going to tell you any more than that, like there's a voice in his head and a few other ways, or there's a reason why there's a voice in his head. There's a reason he's doing what he's doing. I liked that they changed it up, that they didn't just rehash the original movie. I do love the original movie of Billy really wrestling with this traumatic moment that happened in his life. So to him, Santa, if you're not good, Santa's going to kill you. And it builds up for him until he snaps at the end of the movie. This one, he's already in it as the killer Santa punishing the naughty. There is a moment where you wonder if he is going to snap, just like the original, where they ask him, can you put on the Santa suit to work? Like there are the beats, there are some beats there that are aligned with the original film. They change up a lot. bring it into 2025, into the 21st century, because a lot of the themes, a lot of the people that he punishes, that he goes after, it is very, very relevant to today. And honestly, kind of has you rooting for Billy, hoping that Billy just gets them all. You root for Billy, you want him to punish these naughty people. I won't say what happens in the end. I would like to know, anyone who sees this Silent Night, Deadly Night, what did you think of this supernatural element, this difference, this bold change to the original story? I would like to know what other people think of that piece. Because like I said, I think some fans are going to love it. They're going to love the change. They're going to love the differences. They're going to love all that. On the other hand, I think that some people aren't going to dig it as much. But we'll see. I could be wrong. All I'll say is this comes out the day of this episode, December 12th in theaters from Cineverse. Highly recommend checking it out. If you're a fan of the Silent Night, Deadly Night series, I mean, this fits in pretty well with the other films. I mean, we had another remake back in 2012, just called Silent Night from Stephen C. Miller. It is definitely a grittier, more violent version of the story than this one. I mean, this one's violent, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of blood and beheadings and dead Nazis. I will say, as you go through this new Silent Night, Deadly Night, there are some Easter eggs in it. There are some ways that he kills some people that you're like, oh, that's from, the first movie, or, oh, that's from 2. There's even a Garbage Day joke. Yeah, go check out Silent Night, Deadly Night. Let me know what you thought, to see if the bold changes to the story, if you were in it as much as I was, and I can't wait to watch it again. I do have a double feature for this. It's one of those, like, you almost want to say, hey, you should do a double feature with the original. You could. I actually watched the original right before I watched this remake, so I could make sure I familiarize myself with many moments in the film. But honestly, another holiday horror film that came out in recent years that is one of my favorites that I've watched every year since it's come out. I think it came out in 2022, but that's Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I think you could play these two together as one carnage-filled killer Santa evenings. And that would be my double feature to go with this Silent Night, Deadly Night. Well, that will do it for this episode of Tomb of Terrors. Just make sure you subscribe and you will never miss any episode I do over here, whether it's these short reviews, interviews like I did earlier in the week, or any of my series, Tales from Tubi, Versus, any of that. I'm going to have a special Christmas Versus coming. Just watch for that. But make sure you subscribe and you will never miss anything that happens over here on Tomb of Terrors. I will be back very soon with a brand new episode. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.